The English word blame comes to us from the Latin verb blasphemare, meaning to curse or rebuke God. When we blame, we invest ourselves with a godlike authority to condemn others. Recent neuroimaging studies have located blaming in the amygdala, the older emotional part of the brain. Approval involves the neocortex, the newest rational part of the brain. At this point in its evolution, the human brain seems hardwired to prefer blame to approval. Perhaps nature has selected for this preference, seeing our survival as more dependent on recognizing bad people or actions than good ones. Blaming takes place in three venues. First, we can blame ourselves. Doing so is very common in depression, where we judge ourselves as less worthy than others. A study published this month in the European Journal of Psychotraumatology found that women with PTSD were significantly more likely to experience negative words, such as bad, as referring to themselves than were women in a control group without PTSD. Second, we can blame others, telling ourselves and perhaps them that we are right and they are wrong. Lastly, we see blame taking place between racial and ethnic groups and entire nation states. History contains far too many examples of wars and pogroms breaking out after one group blames another for something that has gone wrong. When we blame, there's always a should statement in the equation. We tell ourselves that other person should be different than he or she is. When others blame us, they are telling themselves the same thing. We are not who we are supposed to be. Should statements are an essential cognitive component of blame. The emotions these statements produce will likely be anger, hostility, resentment, and an experience of being victimized by others. For some people, feeling angry and hostile is highly rewarding. These feelings might help them feel powerful, important, and self-righteous. We can see the blame game as working for these people, creating the kind of relationship to others they most want. Many of my patients experience blame differently. They find the anger and resentment, the conflict and fighting that blame brings, too high a price to pay for whatever benefit they receive. My colleague David Burns has called blame the starting point for all relational conflict. Differences of opinion come with the territory. We are not, after all, clones of each other. Our differences and contrasts bring interest and texture to our relational lives. It's only when we blame each other that we set ourselves up for conflict, argument, and the negative emotion that these produce. Cognitive behavioral therapy puts tools in the hands of those who would like to exit the blame game. Many of these tools target the should statements that tempt us to set ourselves up in high judgment of others. When we relinquish this judgment seat, we'll find ourselves back at a human level, no longer looking down on others from on high, but instead seeing eye to eye with everyone around us. The word human also comes to us from the Latin. Humus denotes earth and soil. It also gives us the English words humble and humane. When we stop blaming, we come back down to earth, a pretty good place to be on most days. and the only ground from which we can experience authentic relationship and true intimacy with others. Thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to receive more information on blame, conflict, and successful relationship, visit my website, www.danielminty.com.